Sup everyone, we are back with more Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. And now let's continue getting through this deduction, shall we? Now, what dealt the man such a shocking blow was of course the 200 pounds, says Sholmes. But what could it be, perhaps? Ah, of course. It was your braid of hair that ended up killing him. What is that? Oh, there's like a glove back there, it would look like. Let's see. Well, I always like to get the funnies out of the way, so we'll just see what Ryunosuke has to say about this.
Take that!
Ah, of course. The 200 pounds here is made out of 200 pounds. If this man is the one responsible for taking the waxwork, then perhaps the sight of the ransom money made him so happy he passed out. If I was the culprit, I'm confident I would have passed out in that situation. You are a complete and utter fool, and you have just shown what I have been trying to show. Oh. And now I skip ahead to get through all of this stuff right here. Alright, now it's... Oh wait, I didn't actually check it regularly. I almost forgot to do that. So she was prepared to pay all that money to get her waxwork back again. It really must have been a very special model of a mass murderer. Just how special can a model of a ruthless killer be? Well, anyway, we can be fairly sure the man lying on the floor didn't take it. I suppose we should leave him in peace. Well, not in too much peace. He's probably gonna be dead soon if we don't do anything. Madame Tusples has very long hair, doesn't she? Sorry, the name Tusples ends with an S, so going Tusples has is kind of weird to say, I guess. I don't know. English might be my first language, but that doesn't mean I'm good at saying stuff in it. Yes, but you couldn't tell looking at her from the front. You know, it looks rather like a whip, don't you think? The sort of whip that could have floored the gentleman with a single crack. That seems a little far-fetched, even for you, Reno. Doesn't mean I'm not gonna do it. YOLO. Can't believe I just said YOLO in 2021. Who am I? Madame Tuspel's hair is very neatly braided, creating an effective whip that she used to beat the man to the ground. Oh yes, I can picture the scene quite clearly. Mr. Naruhodo? Yes. I'm afraid your imagination is overactive. Well, yes, perhaps I was clutching at straws a little. I, on the other hand, can picture the scene of your spiked hair running the man through quite clearly. And you say my imagination is overactive. Yeah, he's not Phoenix. He doesn't have that spiky of hair. It's not like he's Naruto or something, where it could be like a spiked floor. Is there any third stuff? Can I get anything in the background, or is it... Looks like it's just stuff on her person. The bag itself... Oh, you're hiding an entire arm under there. Oh. Let's present this by itself, because if you don't look at it from a certain angle, I assume this is one of those things where if I do actually examine it, it'll turn into something different. Hands of Madame. At first glance, Madame Tuspel's hands look slender and delicate, but obviously all the waxwork modeling she does has made them big and strong. Can't believe she got them yaoi hands. She could easily have knocked that man out just with a single punch. In that case, perhaps I should ask that she knock some sense into you. Sorry? You missed a crucial clue right before your eyes. The art of deduction relies not just on observational skills, but on good observational skills. Naruhodo ne. Alright, well it's time to get the right answer, so you know what that means. Oh, we were right. Now this time we actually examine it. This is just Madame Tuspel's right hand, isn't it? Yes, it must be. I can clearly see her left hand after all. Oh, but wait a minute. This is a left hand as well, look. Listen, she's the owner of the Hanged Man from JoJo Part 3, okay? She has a stand that can, like, attack people through mirrors. It's nothing to fear. Don't say such creepy things, Iris, please. And it seems very stiff, too. In fact, it's really hard. I'll take this screenshot out of context. Of course, don't involve Iris in it. We don't need a 10-year-old attached to that. You mean? Attached to that image, I mean. Oh, God. That sounded kind of weird. Sorry. It's made of wax. Waxwork hand. You can even see it from the back. What if I examine it again? Oh, it's just the same. Never mind, I thought maybe that it changed names, or it changed description. Maybe it would go to something else. But the answer has been seeneth. What dealt the man such a shocking blow is, of course, the waxwork hand. Indeed, with a solid waxwork limb, one could deliver a very substantial blow. How could you? The hand protruding from the bottom of your cape. It ought to be a right hand, but closer inspection reveals that in fact it's a left. Ah! And somewhat masculine as well. In other words, it does not belong to you, madame. It is the hand of a waxwork model. I mean, if you had one hand that was more muscular than the other, that could mean that you were... Well, let me not get distracted right now. Yeah. Oh, she just took it out. Some of the visitors to my museum can be troublesome. They meddle with the exhibits and cause damage. So you mean that arm? It's the long arm of the law, and she also uses it to smack people on the ass without being sexual harassment. Yes, this gentleman saw fit to try to remove it as a souvenir. No small keepsake. Like taking a whole branch of a cherry tree when you go to visit the blossoms. I'm afraid I had to teach the man a lesson. You confronted the man and tried to take the arm back. I like how the frickin' snapping of the finger from Sholmes just hints at the fact that he just controls the lights in his own mind. Like, Ryunosuke is just a visitor here, and Sholmes just has, like, you know those, like, lights that you clap your hands to turn off and on? It's like that. And the result? The scene we see before us. He was knocked unconscious. A point we may need to revisit later, but for the time being we have our conclusion. Schwim. Yes, the killer in the special exhibit has been kidnapped. Kidnapped. Solved. According to Mr. Sholmes, the yellow neckerchief is assigned to other policemen that some crime is underway. A way of communicating with his colleagues without revealing his identity, yes? It's a secret that's closely guarded by Scotland Yard. That Mr. Sholmes didn't hesitate to give away. Yeah, if Ryunosuke wasn't going to say that, then I was. Well, uncovering secrets is any true detective's nature, of course. Right. Anyway, judging from Madame Tuspel's reaction to Mr. Sholmes' deduction, I think perhaps we might not have identified the man quite correctly. Oh! Naruhodo ne. Oh yes, his flat cap. secret scarf sign to warn other agents of an ongoing crime.
I know, it sounds so thrilling, doesn't it? Sometimes I gotta work on my intonation when I speak out these sentences, because I have to change them halfway through, because I realize that the actual intonation is not what I originally envisioned. Maybe I'll try to work it into next month's installment.
But then the police's secret will be revealed to all of London's 6 million inhabitants.
Well, they'll just have to come up with a new sign, I suppose.
How does this 10-year-old manage to have such terrifying influence?
Good question, Bruno. I'll tell you over a cup of tea sometime.
Take that!
What do you have to say about this, Ryunosuke? Once you know that the scarf is a secret signal used by detectives, the answer is obvious. Anyone wearing a scarf like this must be a detective, so that's exactly what this man is. Yes, that's quite interesting, but did I ask? The answer is no. Oh. Let's get through all of this stuff right now. I just need to save as well. Because this could go poorly otherwise, because I forgot to save after the last correct answer. Alright, now the very much real answer and correct one. I've seen hats like this in Japan as well. They're called flat caps, aren't they?
Yes, or hunting caps. Helly's hat is called a deer stalker, by the way.
Well, we already figured that out in the last game, but hunting, stalking, the British certainly seem keen on catching game. Yeah, catching a certain type of game, if you know what I'm saying. Every time I see a deer stalker, I automatically think of Mr. Sholmes. But a flat cap makes me think of a Japanese country gentleman somehow.
Well, probably because you've lived in Japan for most of your life, but that's beside the point.
In other words, people from all walks of life wear all different types of hats, so that it doesn't really help us. Does that mean the people in Japan wear top hats? I mean, that's pretty based if they do. Just look at the smart flat cap the man is wearing. It's apparent, then, that he's a run-of-the-mill Londoner with an eye for style. So now I know your powers of deduction are improving, but in your own words, it's just one thing. Are you and I not both run-of-the-mill Londoners, too? On second thought, you yourself may not quite satisfy that description. I'm not sure that you do either. How do you like that sick-ass transition I did? I have godlike timing on pausing and unpausing my recordings now. What the? The man has a stub sticking out of his shoulder where his arm should be.
Ah, well that settles that then.
Right, this isn't a real person at all.
His entire arm's been ripped off from the shoulder down.
His arm's been... Of course, that ties in with what we just found out. You know, if this dude's made out of wax, then wouldn't whacking someone with something made out of wax, alliteration unintended, wouldn't that feel weird, like whacking someone with something made out of wax, like holding it in your hands while you beat down someone with it? I don't know, it just seems a tad odd to me, but what do I know? Anyways, shoulder stub. Ooh. 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 Who is this fellow? To find the answer, we need only observe his shoulder stub. No such boneless human walks this earth. Of that I can assure you. In other words, the man standing here, the young Sergeant John Clay, is actually made of the same. Is in fact, to find all odds, a waxwork model. A very realistic one, even more than the others. Actually, I know he's not made out of clay, but I just wanted to sound cool. I seem to remember it was you who concluded he was a real person in the first place, Mr. Sholmes. Regardless, let us return to the matter at hand, Mr. Naruto.
He has become quite a celebrity in London, being the winner of no less than 3 policing awards last year. I simply had to make a model of the man.
Naturally, what other explanation could there be? And it was this detective's arm that was pulled off by the man on the floor in the special exhibit, wasn't it?
Next, we turn our attention to the old man set before him with this particularly unsightly visage. I've been watching closely and he hasn't moved a muscle, almost in fact as if he were waxwork.
Yeah, no, I don't think he is.
But you... Your reaction only confirms my suspicions, madam. I notice it at once, of course. Observe.
I'm not sure if this one actually is. Well, actually, if the one on the left is a waxwork and it's based on a real person, maybe this one's based on a real person as well. I can't rule that out now. A killer policeman called Ottermole, was it? Was he well known?
It was all over the papers last year, but I can't say I know what he looks like.
Actually, you know what? Wow, my voice really shook there. Turned like auto-tune. You know what, though? I know I said that this is the same scarf that Pat and Rolly had, but what if, well, not big if here, but what if for some reason they left their scarf here, and this isn't this man's scarf?
It's a very low price, though. Threepence isn't much money.
Only enough for a few measly hours of gas in Mr. Gertub's delightful lodgings, in fact. So this is a special killer taken from the special exhibit, is it? The waxwork that somebody stole from the museum and tried to ransom for 200 pounds. Is this crusty old killer policeman Ottermole? Really?
Perhaps we should have a good look around again and see if another idea crops up.
Sure. Only after I pause the recording and save. Damn it. My wordsmithing is failing. Oh, I was actually right. This is an actual live person. Twitch. Alright. I'm glad that I was right and that it is an actual live person. 3 pence? It's a far cry from 200 pounds, isn't it?
For 3 you could buy it and put it on display in your room, Reno.
I think I'd rather not go to sleep being watched by an old man if it's all the same to you.
This price tag does stand out, doesn't it? I mean, you couldn't even buy the helmet on his head for that much money, I don't think.
I wonder what the price tag's really for, then. Who knows, but we're gonna find out. It's time to present price tag. You only have to look at this price tag to know exactly what this old man really is. He's a waxwork being sold for 3pence. It really couldn't be more obvious. Yo, can you stop stealing my thunder, you fool? You're really cramping my style, man. Whoops.
I just poured a little bit of molten wax on him. We'd soon find out if he was real or not.
Yes, you never know. There might be another way. We've already come this far, so maybe we should stick to logical deductions, don't you think? Yeah, let's try not to burn this man alive.
Alright, if that's the way you want to do it, then we should examine him in more detail.
If anyone saw, they'd think we were obsessed with the elderly. I don't know. Old people in Ace Attorney games are pretty funny most of the time. Most. I like how it shows us tapping foot briefly, just in order to show this off. I don't believe it.
It's the secret sign that lets other detectives know some criminal activity is underway.
Yes, it's a slightly strange choice of outfit if he was trying to go unnoticed.
Ah, he must be a detective disguised as a policeman.
Or a detective disguised as a waxwork model of a policeman.
He doesn't look like he's clever enough to think of something like that, though.
Yeah, that's more Sholmes' level of thinking. Perhaps you should try to be a little more polite about him, Iris.
Take that!
Scarf on the arm. According to you, Mr. Sholmes, a scarf like this is a secret sign used between undercover detectives. So perhaps this is the famous plainclothes detective Sergeant John Clay. Mr. Norharu, pray, what part of this man's outfit would you call plain clothes? I believe I described the man as yon too. Listen, he could have found the opposite of the fountain of youth. He could have found the fountain of aging. Or he could also have a stand and have the Grateful Ditto. It was only last It was only last year that I saw him being awarded his triple accolades at the policing awards. Sorry, I have not said the word accolades in a while. They say detective work can age a man, but this would be extreme, I'm sure you'll agree. Well, I know I suddenly feel 10 years older after that. Ew. Alright, and now for the, I assume, real answer. I mean, I don't know what would be a more telltale sign of being alive. Look at this! The old man's tapping his foot like crazy.
He seems to be fast asleep, though.
He's not tapping his foot consciously, then? So you mean...
It must be a twitch.
Never mind that. The point is waxworks don't tap their feet. I mean, unless you have, like, a real high-tech one.
Or twitch.
.tv. And look at his arm, too. We've seen a scarf like that somewhere else around here, haven't we? Oop. Is this the final one or the second to last? This feels like a last one, just finding a new witness. Oh, wow. The telltale sign that instantly proves whether or not this old man is a waxwork is the obvious twitch. Telltale on Twitch? But Telltale isn't a company anymore. Even the most realistic waxworks do not exhibit a twitch. In other words, this splendid old man is in fact a genuine member of Scotland Yard. Slight shift in your choice of adjectives, then. And there you have it. Well, Madame Tusples.
Well, what? It was me who contacted the police and demanded that someone come in the first place.
He is clearly fatigued. He is sound asleep. Oh wait, sorry, the change of pose in Ryunosuke made me think it was him talking.
He is clearly fatigued. He is sound asleep.
But then, what's this tag about showing a price of three pence? No doubt the price tag of the muffler which the old Bobby purchased recently at a local market. And I presume you've observed the scarf tied around his arm. Does that not strike you, Mr. Naruhodo? Yes, the secret sign used by detectives to show that some criminal activity is currently underway.
Of course, because, as you know, there has been just such criminal activity happening here. As you deduced from the very beginning, Detective.
So it would seem that we finally arrive at the truth. Close the lights, open them up, get in stage, and put it up. The waxwork of the especially ruthless killer from the special exhibit has been kidnapped. And Scotland Yard are already investigating. He's gonna come back awake? But the model's whereabouts remain a mystery. Sorry, I think I'm scarred from last case when frickin' Shamspeare came back to life, and I'm waiting for this dude to sit up now. Thus concludes Sherlock Holmes' great deduction of this horrifying puzzle. The curtain falls. Still a mystery. Deduction complete. Elementary. My dear viewers.
All sorts of people visit my museum here, men and women, young and old. Sometimes they drop in just for a short time on their way back from the pub. I welcome them all. But if anyone tries to damage my exhibits, I do not take it lightly. Anyway.
Spin. Very sweet.
Your great deduction was even more enchanting than I had been led to believe.
I aim to please. It was a pleasure, my dear madame. I'm gratified that you enjoyed the spectacle. And as for your rough customer, I've no doubt he'll regain consciousness shortly and return home. What concerns me more is the waxwork from the special display, if it was indeed genuinely abducted. Ellipses.
Yes, tragically it was.
Then I would ask you to recount to us the events surrounding the stolen waxwork. In as much detail as possible, if you please.
Very well. But after I have told you what I know, I must insist that you return to your work.
I knew it. The talents of a great detective could be put to better use, I feel, but as you wish. Alright, what do we got to talk about then? Stolen waxworks. I already showed her my arm band. Tell us more about the stolen waxwork, please.
It was some days ago now when I came in here one morning. I immediately noticed that a waxwork was missing from the special exhibit here. It is your most prominent display, so that's why the curtains were closed. And I found the ransom note in its place.
The culprit must have broken in during the night and taken it then.
So this waxwork that was stolen, it was a model of some horrible criminal, I suppose. ... Of a particularly horrible criminal, in fact. The killer who left a more profound scar in society than any other, I would say. The Professor.
Professor? Oh, that does not sound good considering, Professor Hairbrain over here. Sorry, just the fact that we have two different professors in the same case, that sounds concerning. Not a name I've heard of. So, Mr. Naruto, it seems the circle is complete. Sorry?
The Professor case happened at around the time I was born, didn't it?
Indeed it did, Iris. 10 years ago, a series of murders that rocked the capital. 10 years ago? Yes, at exactly the time. That Barrick von Zykes graduated from university, in fact. What? Surely he's not saying... Oh, shit. Alright.
So the big event that changed Mr. Reaper's life.
Oh, shit. That is big news. As you've surmised, it was the Professor case. Who was this Professor, then? Let me guess, is it a thing that no one knows who he truly is? But then again, no, they would have to know, otherwise why the hell would there be a waxwork of him? You can't have a waxwork of someone without knowing what they look like.
It was a series of gruesome murders that had all of London gripped in terror a decade ago. After 5 victims were killed, the man was arrested and put to death.
And now he's immortalized here in wax for all Londoners to admire and enjoy. Though, of course, he happens to be absent at present on account of the abduction. But I don't understand. How is all this related to Lord Van Zykes? You must first understand, my dear fellow, why it is that the Professor earns such infamy. It was due to the victims he chose, some of Whitehall's finest. Whitehall?
What do you mean, Hurley?
Those murdered by the Professor were some of the highest members of the British aristocracy. Members of the nobility, even royalty. It sent shockwaves through the country's administration. Members of the...
wait, of course!
Wait, members of the royal nobility and royal family? Holy shit. Wait a second. The end of last case, that freaking that neck brace or whatever, the bracelet, whatever you want to call it, was that freaking evidence from that case? And that's why Sholmes had it confiscated or wanted to hand it off to Gregson so fast? What Professor Hairbrain said. Lord Van Zykes is from a family of noble blood. Oh shit. A member of his family got killed. Isn't that it?
Oh gosh!
It was the 5th victim that led to the Professor's arrest. The last of the killer's prey was a young noble by the name of... Oh shit. Clint von Sykes.
Holy shit, man. No! I don't believe it! Von Sykes? I'm sure you can piece together the rest for yourself. In the wake of his older brother's murder, the young Barrack pursued a career as a prosecutor, and eventually became the Reaper we know today. You're shitting me. I had no idea Lord Van Zykes had such a tragic past. Good lord. Well, I'm afraid that's all I can say on the matter, for the time being at least. So, oh my god. Was that the dude in the frickin' portrait that we saw in a few episodes back? The dude that was painted in his office that frickin' Ryunosuke and Iris made fun of. Oh no. After all, I have work to do. As a waxwork exhibit. Holy shit. I am afraid I shall have to excuse myself as well. Oh, yes, of course. It's been a pleasure. Thank you. That is a bombshell. We're not going to the trial yet, are we? Well, none of the predicted scenarios I've been analyzing involved you coming to visit me here. Oh, right. Oh, shit. It's been too long, it really has. I'm delighted to see you, Barrack. It's been 10 years, and here we are, meeting in a prison of all places. I can't forgive myself for what happened to Mr. Asman. I just can't. I still can't believe it could happen. Oh, right. Tomorrow the court will decide. Right, Von Zykes is leading the prosecution and Hairbrain doesn't know it yet. Yes. I have a young Eastern man acting for my defense. He seems reliable enough, though. It was an accident, a terrible accident. He assures me he can prove it. I must warn you. Oh, I know, I've heard already. You're going to be prosecuting, aren't you? Oh, he has already heard. He's already heard, has he? Yes. Since I returned to England, I've heard lots of stories. Barrack, are you really... What? Never mind. I know that you have my best interests at heart. My friend is on trial. I wouldn't entrust it to anybody else. I feel like he's definitely going to pull some Edgeworth stuff and help from the other side of the court. Of course, I fully understand. Why do I feel like there's probably going to be a moment where the true culprit almost gets away because there's shit that's covered up, and then Von Zykes goes out of his way to help Hairbrain by being like, wait, I have another person to call as a witness or something. Thank you, Barrack. Until tomorrow, then. I'll see you in court. Wow. God damn, man. To be continued. Sheesh. I was not expecting to go to court this fast, but here we are. Man, I love that jingle. Then again, that's just all the music and all the animations and all the facial expressions and everything in this game. I already loved the music in the first game, but they really... I loved everything in the first game, but they really upped it in this. Man. I mean, we're only at 34 minutes. I feel like I need to go for a little bit more. I can't end it right there as much as I wanna. 23rd October, 8:52 a.m.
The Old Bailey, Defendant's Antechamber. I can't believe it's been 6 months since I was last allowed to work in court. And now here I am, back at the Old Bailey.
Mr. Naruhodo.
Good morning, Professor Harebrain.
I don't understand. It doesn't make any sense. The atmospheric pressure in here is off the charts. I've never felt anything like it. It's crushing me.
I feel it every time I'm here. That gravity.
Well, this is Britain's highest court. But are you telling me it's fitted with some kind of device that can actually control air pressure?
I think it's probably all in the mind.
Yes, well, you won't let me down, will you, Mr. Naruhodo? I'm counting on you in today's trial, to save my life. To save the secret of my super high-voltage instantaneous kinesis machine from being made public.
Yes, I understand. I know what I have to do. I have to establish that the explosion 2 days ago was nothing more than an unfortunate accident.
Well, I'm sure there's nothing to worry about, really. Justice will prevail.
My commiserations, Mr. Naruhodo. You appear to have been lumbered with a most tiresome case here. I knew it. Mr. Sholmes, I didn't expect to see you here.
That was very mean, Bruno, leaving me alone at home with Hurley.
I mean, someone needed to get his ass out of bed.
Took me at least an hour to wake him.
Yeah, and that's why I left you behind, so I could at least make it on time.
Is it? Are you? Herlock Sholmes? Sholmes?
Indeed, sir, I am he. Herlock Sholmes.
Oh, I've heard all about your exploits, even whilst traveling in Germany. Even whilst living in Germany. Ah yes, Rand's magazine is on sale in Germany too. This month's installment was sublime. Your deduction in the adventure of Silver Blaze was wonderful.
Ah yes, a memorable case indeed. It concerned a snake, I seem to recall. No, that was the speckled band.
No, that was the speckled band.
Yeah, what I said. Well, thank you for coming. I do appreciate your support. I'm sorry to disappoint you, my dear fellow, but I'm afraid I can't stay. I have more wax modeling to do. Oh. I have urgent business in Madame Tuspel's. You mean your waxwork job? No, the waxwork of the production, of course. Madame has engaged my services. So you're trying to get to the bottom of that ransom note, are you? The week's wages depend on it, as does the safe return of the waxwork, naturally. As such, I intend to give it my undivided attention. Well, keep looking into it, man, because we're probably going to need it, either for this case or a future one. Oh, well, never mind then. I understand. Of course, with my skills of observation and reasoning, resolving the matter will be as easy as proverbial pie. I shall return forthwith. He means he won't be here until the end of the trial. For until I solve the case, I shall have no money to afford a pie of any description.
Ooh, then you must absolutely give it your full attention, Hurley.
Quite, Iris, quite. But life is riddled with irony, you know. Whenever I give something my full attention, I have a quite insatiable desire for a pie. One of the universe's intractable mysteries, you might say.
Oh yes, quite, definitely, absolutely, I totally understand.
Someone a little starstruck. I wish you the very best of luck, Professor Harebrain.
Oh, why, thank you.
Before I depart, Mr. Naruhodo, a word in your ear, if you please. What's this about? Oh, serious time. As you have remarkably little grounding in science, I feel I ought to inform you. As compelling as the super high-voltage instantaneous kinesis hypothesis may be, a practical implementation such as was attempted by the professor at the Great Exhibition is quite impossible.
But the professor said the demonstration was a success. Yes, it would appear that he fervently believes it was.
I've read Professor Bunnybrain's paper about it too, Bruno, and I have to say, I'm sure it can't be done. It could barely be done theoretically, let alone practically. So he's completely barking up the wrong tree. But how could an experiment that had no possibility of succeeding in fact succeed? That's contradictory. And it's that contradiction that will be at the heart of the trial, I've no doubt. What's that supposed to mean? Now I must hurry along. I wish you the best of luck, my dear fellow. See you later, Hurley. Auf Wiedersehen. Well, it looks like you're on your own today, Bruno. But chin up, you can do it. Oh, what about you, Iris? Oh no, I'm afraid I can't help. I already helped to one case. I can't take over Susie's role, because she'll probably come back eventually. Probably. Also, I have something I need to do. I see. It's going to be a big surprise for you when you find out what it is. That sounds ominous.
Counsel for the defense and the defendant. Court is about to be in session. Make your way into the courtroom at once.
We're on our way. An experiment that the laws of science say can't possibly succeed. And a scientist is convinced that it did. That's the riddle you have to unlock here, Ryunosuke. That's the key to this case. And that will be answered next time on Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. Ciao, adios, and bye-bye. Signing off until next time. Ja, matane.